There's my mounting bracket on the top there. There's all kinds of directions here if you feel you need to read them. Okay. You see here, here's this piece here. So I know this is going to get snapped in. And I kind of like this little cover. They keep this cover. See, installer, cover alarm from dust. Remove when premises are clean. Basically, if this is a brand new construction, let's say, and the painters have just got done painting, you can go ahead and put your smoke alarm up, and then you can put this little shower cap on it, see? After you get all done, you can put that up like that and protect it for the construction cleanup, sweeping the floors before you install the carpet or whatever you know people are doing inside the house. You'll keep this dust free, because the dust, if you get too much dust, the dust will make the alarm go off, or you can get dust inside of here, and it might not be a very good thing to do, okay? Even if you're doing something later for remodeling, you could do something like this on your existing smoke alarms, let's say. So you could save that. So I guess I'll probably have to read a little bit about the directions here. This alarm is not compatible, let's see. Here's the date of install, you can put that on there. And I guess I'll have to read the directions on how how you activate the 10-year battery, because I did a different one, and there was a gap right in there, and then once I snapped it together, then it made the battery activate. So I'm going to read the directions a little bit. Good Lord, that's a lot of directions. Yes. There's different steps in there, and there's different languages on those instructions. And this particular one looks like I don't have to do anything special to push this all together to get the battery operated properly. Okay. The other one I did a while ago, it was just a battery operated one. It was not actually hardwired into the electrical system, and there was a cardboard sleeve in between there. I had to pull that off and then push these together. Then that set and sealed the battery in there. Then you couldn't pop it back out. Okay. This one apparently does not have that. Now, all smoke alarms are not created equal, so make sure you check yours out. Okay, don't forget to put your date on there. Okay, here's my new piece. It looks almost like the other one, doesn't it? Even if that other one had the very same connector, which it probably won't, I'm going to replace it anyways. And see, this one here just has this little plastic goodie on there. Because some only are wired, if this is an individual one, maybe you've only got the black and white up there. But this is wired tandem to all kinds of other alarms up in the ceiling. So that's why we're going to use all three wires, just like what's up there now. I'm probably still going to undo this one wire nut at a time. Okay, that was my yellow. And on this one I got black, white, and red. So obviously I'm going to put my red over here. I'm just going to hold that just like how the other one was. Okay. And see, if your power was still hot up here, you could do it one at a time. It's not going to hurt you, because you're not going to have any two wire nuts off at the same time. If you had two wire nuts off, and then if you touched one and hit it with your hand or something, oh, you're going to get a shock. Believe you me, that's just how it happens. But, you know, it was on a 15 amp breaker. It's not going to whack you too hard, but depending what happens, you're on a a metal ladder if your hands are wet or anything like that. I just wouldn't recommend it, okay? Not at all. One wire nut at a time. I'm acting as though the power is still on, and once I get the wire nut on, I can kind of pull on the wires and make sure everything's fine. Okay? Because sometimes you can get a wire nut tight, thinking that everything's on there, and then all of a sudden one wire is loose, let's say. Okay? Bye-bye. That was on there for 10 years. 11 years, actually. Okay. I'm going to hold that there. My wire nut on there. Tighten it up. Righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. Okay? See, you can do this, even if you're not an electrician. I'm not an electrician. I'm not a professional electrician, but you don't have to be to do this. I know you can do it too. Okay, you remember how this is going to go? I'm going to kind of rearrange these wires a little bit like that. And we know these are going to have to be bent about halfway like they were before. So I'm going to get them and bend them halfway, about where they were when I took it off, right? Now I can push that up there and swivel that up just like before. Kind of push my flexi wires in the middle, sort of, okay? So they're kind of coming down all together, just like that. Yeah? That's your next step. Now I thought this smoke alarm might have the mounting screws with it, but it doesn't. And I don't really need any other screws. I just reuse these. And this is set up for a different screw size for your plastic box. Okay, if your box wasn't that size, you can flip it around that way. See, that way is too short. So I know it's going to go this way. I put it right in the middle, and I can slide it that way, or I can see if I slide it the other way, that's for a slightly smaller or wider box. So you've got enough for 3 different size boxes up here. You can swivel that to wherever it fits, and I know that's where it is. Now I can gently snug this up to the ceiling. I don't want to over tighten it, just snug. Okay, there. We're almost done with this. Okay. I look at the whole pattern, I look at the little nibs on the back. Obviously I have to do it just right. I want to make sure it's snapped in there, and I've got some little side goodies. It looks like that's going to do that. And you can take this and you can kind of pop it in there down on the ground, make sure it works right. You know, it snaps in. Make sure you get it pushed all the way in, however yours is. Yours might be slightly different than this. Okay. Now I can hold it up there, and I know it's going to fit in a notch up here. I'm just going to kind of turn this until I know where it fits, and see, it's fitting right there. Now I'm going to tighten it up to the right. Let's see, there, okay. And it kind of click, 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 click. And I've got it snug. Now to take it off, there's a little deal on the side. There'll be some somewhere, and not all are created equal, like I said. Then you can kind of, ooh, you have to push that in a little bit. Doesn't seem to want to go. Oh, I see. You have to pull down on it and then click it to get it off. See, and you don't want to get it so tight on there as you're ratcheting it, so that next time you go to loosen it up, you actually take the whole back off too. And this almost started sliding. I had to kind of hold that because I only made it snug. I guess I could have tightened that just a hair. But you know, even if that were to slide off, let's say 10 years from now, you could still take the whole thing off if these set screws are loose, to take that off too. But you know, I wouldn't really recommend that because you don't know if the paint's going to stick to that, and you might start ripping the paint right off the sheetrock, let's say. Okay, so I got it back in there. I know I'm snug, and now I'm going to turn it to the right, and now I'm going to click it on there, and I can feel it right there. And I don't have to go any further before I know that it's snug. This thing is snug and it's locked in there, and I'm almost ready to turn it on. Now, because I have the electrical breaker off, I'm not going to try to set this for just the battery yet or anything like that. I'm going to go ahead and install all of these. I've got 4 more just like this to do, and I've got also a carbon monoxide one that is also smoke alarm and carbon monoxide. But I'm going to get some other ones installed first before I turn the breaker on, and then I'll come back and set this. There's a push button here to push it in, and then you're going to hear it chirp, maybe three long ones and then a pause, another 3 long ones and a pause, or however your particular smoke alarm says on the directions. That's very important. You got to read those directions and make sure you get this set properly, because if you don't press that button after you get done, maybe the hardwired section might be set, and maybe the battery backup might not be set, or maybe the whole thing might not be set until you press that button. So read those directions. Okay, I turned the breaker back on. Make sure you remember which breaker it is. It happened to be under a bedroom breaker after all. Okay, I'm going to press this, and it's going to be a little loud, so you don't want to get up too close as you're doing it. It's going to burst your eardrums or something. I'm going to just stay down here, and I'm going to press and hold on to it until it chirps. I think this one says it's supposed to chirp 3 times long. It's pause, another 3 times long, pause, and then 1 all by itself after that. I've not tried it yet. Let's see how it works. Come on. Maybe I have to press it once and then press and hold again. There it goes. Okay, so I had to do that a couple. Okay. Well, let's see if it stops. Let's see if it stops. Okay. This one works a little bit different than some other ones I've installed. I've never had that happen before, testing it like that, but now it's working properly, and I know the other ones are going to be like that too. See the green light there? Breaker's on, the battery's working, the battery backup's working, the hardwired system is working. That should be good to go for 10 years. And if you ever forget about the date on there, that's why I put the date, because you can come up here 7 years from now, 8 years from now, look along the side, date of install, I put that on there, and if this house gets sold or something and you go to the next one, look at your smoke alarms and see how old they are. Maybe somebody had helped you out by putting the date on there. If not, you'll have to decide for yourself what to do.